Juan, I just wanted to introduce you before we kind of start officially. So this is Jetson White, and he's a big fan of yourself and Kid by the Side of the Road. And me and Bryce did an episode with him recently, and he was on the President Trump birthday video that you joined in a couple months ago.
Yes, I remember, of course.
Yeah, you remember
Absolutely.
him, yeah. So he does a great time travel series on YouTube, the Trump time travel series. But he had a suggestion, and so I'll let him ask you his suggestion. So
sure.
Before we go official, so Jetson, over to you, buddy. You wanted to talk to Juan. Here's your moment, buddy.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Juan, first, I'd love to be able to say that I am your biggest fan, but I know I'm...
That's very generous of you to say, but I'll accept it.
But I know I'm not alone in realizing the immense weight your words carry for true patriots and the tremendous value they hold within the Q-Truth movement. And that goes for the words in your powerful book, Kid by the Side of the Road, which has become like the Patriots 411 guide to understanding how America and this world became a captured operation. So to spread the reach of these truths even wider, I think it would be providing humanity a great service for someone to have a professional quality audio recording made of the first 3 chapters of your book, using a real voice talent, the caliber of like Alexander Scorby, in a real recording studio. And so I'm asking your permission now if I might proceed with this project.
You know, I don't have any problem with that at all. I've wanted to do it myself, and honestly, I've been so busy that even though I thought I would have gotten it done last year, I really have not had any time to put that together. The reality is the message is so critical, and I would rather have it out there than not. I didn't do the book to cut a fat hog or something. I have other income, other stuff out there. And so the message, I think, is the most important thing. Having it read by pros like you guys have would be wonderful. So you're have my permission to go have some fun. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Jetson White comes to 148, which is Donald J. Trump, also Emmett Brown, the time traveler. And Jetson does a great piece on time travel in his Trump time travel series.
I'd heard your name many times, but that was the first one I watched.
Right, that was the very first show I'd ever done. This is my second.
Oh,
I'm on with Juan O Savin.
Yeah, for the second show. You're going faster than I'm going.
Well, it's my birthday, I consider myself one of King Yeshua's soldiers in God's army. And I know that this gift is from him. And I want to take this opportunity to remind our listeners that the King cares for each of his soldiers in the same way. He cares enough to personally give us our orders every morning if we'll just check in.
Before we get too serious, let me just add that Jack Benny was one of my big shows when I was very little, and we'd listen to him on the radio, and he made a big thing out of the fact that he was always 39. And so if you say, well, you're 39, Judson, well, you've been 39 for 19 years. 19 is the power number. And so this is your most powerful year since you've been 39 over and over and over again. And so I'd be like making hay while the sun shines and chasing girls and having fun. This is your birthday. Let's get to work.
Also, Juan, you just dropped a lovely one there, which I'm sure was on point and meant to be, but you said very little. So little is 78, which is Kennedy. Very is 70, and 70 is also secret. But when you add them together, it's 148, which is Jetson White. So thanks for that one. That was really nicely done with for Jetson.
I think that we have to understand there's a fabricated matrix with intelligent engineering by men and computers and even alignments into the stars, etc. And there's a natural occurring matrix. And sometimes they intersect and other times they don't necessarily. So when they do intersect, it's even more powerful. Remember, his first full day in office, January 21st, 2017, Donald Trump was 70 years, 7 months,
I know.
and 7 days old.
7 times 7 times 7 is 343. President John Fitzgerald Kennedy, 343. And he's sitting there at the Oval Office at the Resolute desk, JFK's desk, one that Junior hid in when he was a kid because Trump's hiding Junior.
I love his reactions. This is so much fun. I'm more entertained by Jetson right now.
Well, 93 is the most sacred number to these occultists, going back to Crowley and that crowd. And of course, that's because it's a reverse 39, and that's the triple 13 of the 13 families. People are all upset about why are we taking so long? What's the sequence? How come certain things are happening and aren't being controlled or stopped or changed? And in this larger matrix, and it's a pretty out there conversation for most people, but there are calculations, and they have been actually gamed out on supercomputers to see reactions, to look at timing, to see the people, the society, even the sequencing of monetary things, military movements. There's a sequence that has to happen, and if you get out of phase, out of sequence, then it doesn't pull it back correctly, and you can end up with a worse mess than you ever started with. So the numbers, there's so many applications here, and our main goal right now is straightening out society, and there are certain patterns of strikes that bring it back correct and make America great again, make the world great again. And there's certain other patterns that end up causing all sorts of new problems that are not easy to resolve, and maybe even worse than what you started out with. So looking at the numbers and the use of numbers in this process, this reparative, restorative process, is not a waste of time, in my opinion. And that's why looking at things like you do, there's actually a lot of beauty in the symmetry of why things are done, how they're done, and the hidden messages from one party to the other in this tug of war over who wins planet Earth.
Could that also be the phrase, decoding the matrix is what destroys it?
That's also brilliant. In the movie The Called, you'll notice where I am leaving Memphis, and there I talk about picking a lane, and I move to the right, and on the freeway on-ramp ahead and to the left is the pyramid, and to the right is moving away from that. So it's a kind of an interesting thing in the film, and it was actually not planned. That happened, and there was a certain symmetry that occurred there that just fit what was going on. And so when Jennifer Mack did that editing, I don't think she saw that. I saw it later and went, oh my gosh.
I've got a thing about The Called that's interesting.
All right.
I want to toss it at you, Juan. Right at 1440, are you familiar with that scene? The
No.
Riders on the Storm is playing.
Oh yeah.
And up in the left-hand corner of the screen, quite large,
Oh yes.
The Punisher skull comes up. In the
Yes.
sky. And it's like nothing points to it. You just have to watch for it. And
it's on his license plate.
No, I'm saying it comes up in the sky.
Oh.
As it like fades in. It fades in very large and then fades out right when he's saying there's a killer on the road. And the Punisher, I think, is JFK Jr. So he's saying
Yeah.
there's a killer on the road and it's me.
There may be a very precise, intricate game that's being done here with every possible calculation in play and trying to get it all right. In the end, the hand of God himself will not be upstaged. He will not share his glory with any man, and neither the devil or any of his minions will be allowed to hold God's creation as their slaves, be they adults or children. And this moment in time is about ultimately freeing God's children. He will not stand by while they are enslaved, herded, used for some occult demonic purposes. At the Tower of Babel ended an era when people had much longer lives. What would have been possible in just 1 or 2 lifespans had they not been confused in their languages, and what has occurred in our lifetime with the computers allowing us to communicate seamlessly using the language of numbers. And now we are going back, leaving our planet headed to the stars, just as happened at the Tower of Babel, and coming to this end of this age. I enjoy the numbers tremendously. That's why there's a connection with me and Tesla that's fairly deep. And the numbers there are just stunning. So with that in mind, however, there's a divine orchestration and there's the man-made. Let's not confuse the one with the other, as though the man-made can rule supremely. It has effect. There is force to it. But in the end, God's got this, and we will see it in the numbers, and it'll be very pleasurable, enjoyable for us to see, and enjoy as it plays out.